Hello and welcome to the Dragon Den. I'm KingofDragons 5000 and today I have another action figure review. Today I'm having a look at the Medicom Toys Mafex, the Man Without Fear, Daredevil. My first impressions on Daredevil is that Mafex has done an amazing job here with the Man Without Fear as they captured the likeness of him perfectly. I really do like this shade of red that they went with for his costume, and I really love the detailing that they were able to put onto his costume. As far as his accessories goes, Daredevil does come with 3 different head sculpts, as well as various hands for holding the billy clubs and style posing. We also get 3 different versions of his billy clubs, as well as 3 different holsters for each version of his billy club. Taking a look at the Mafex Daredevil, I am blown away by what we have here. Very accurate to Daredevil's costume, and I am really glad that they went with his classic red costume. Having a look at the head sculpt, I feel like this is probably the weakest part of the figure, as even though it does look like Daredevil, it is kinda soft. Although we can see some detailing in the mask such as a furrowed brow and the ears, it would have been nice to see a little more detail such as a sharper furrowed brow. And his skin does come off a little pasty with no detail to the lips, unfortunately. And they did a really good job sculpting the horns on the top of his cowl. As far as his costume goes, it's just basically going to be done in this red plastic. And as I stated before, the shade of red is a fantastic shade, and I love the detailing on the Daredevil insignia on his chest. It is done in a lighter shade of red, which is appreciated as it does contrast against the darker shade of red. And along his costume, throughout the striations in his muscles, we do get some actual shading. And the shading is done very well on his costume as it hits all the low points and you can see all his muscle striations perfectly. That fantastic detail continues on his arms, where once again the muscle striation is done fantastically. Once again we get some really nice shading that just brings out all this definition. As we get to his gloves, you can see that they are going to be a brighter shade of red. And these gloves have some surprising detail all the way down to seams in the front and back of the gloves. On his waist, Daredevil is wearing a bright red belt which has some surprising detail to it despite it being small. The buckle on the front is done nicely, where we do have some black paint. And on his left hip it does have some detailing holding the holster for his billy clubs. And the billy clubs in the holster have some surprising detail all the way down to the lanyard on the back club. His legs are going to be done in that darker shade of red, where once again we have this amazing detailing on his musculature. Throughout the leg we're going to get this fantastic shading which just brings out all that amazing striation. And the darker plastic goes all the way down to his boots, where once again they are going to be a brighter shade of red. His boots do have a little bit of shading on them, but for the most part they're just going to be bright red. And just like with his gloves, we have amazing detailing here on his boots, where we have a seam line that runs through the front and back of his boots. We even get some added detailing with some folds and wrinkles at his ankles. It's a very simple costume here, but Mafex has nailed it perfectly, bringing out all this amazing detail. The lighter shades of red are used perfectly against the darker reds, and I love the shading that goes throughout his body. With the paint and details out of the way, let's get Daredevil compared to our usual suspects. As Daredevil is going to be a Mafex figure, he will scale nicely to true 1/12 scale. And what is interesting to note is that he is going to scale nicely with the rest of your Marvel Legends collection, so if you want to put him in that display, you can. But overall the scale here on Daredevil works, fitting him in any display you want to put him in. Having a look at his articulation, Daredevil does have a double ball joint in the head and a ball joint in the neck. Ball jointed butterfly joints and ball socketed shoulders. Arms go out to the side and do a full 360. He will have a bicep swivel as well as double hinge elbows. Ball hinge style joints in the wrist. Daredevil is going to have a double ball joint in his upper torso and a double ball joint in his lower torso. Ball hinge hips will kick forward, go back, out to the side, and have a thigh swivel. he has a double bend in the knee, ball hinge style joints at his ankle, and finally a toe hinge. Overall great articulation here on Daredevil, and everything works perfectly for this acrobatic character. Truth be told, Mafex has done an amazing job with his articulation, as you can get him in a lot of striking poses. With everything said and done about the Mafex Daredevil, let's get him posed for my final thoughts. It's no secret that the Man Without Fear is one of my favorite Marvel characters, and having him in a Mafex figure, I'm blown away by what we have here. Mafex is known for giving us quite amazing detail and articulation for action figures, and Daredevil here hits the mark on every single front. Despite having a really simplistic costume, they were able to bring out some amazing detail with the paint and sculpt work here. I feel the only mishap with the paint is done in the head, where I feel like the eyes could have been done differently and a little more care to the skin tone could have been done better. But other than that, everything on this Daredevil feels superb, as we have great articulation and the joints are really solid here. Add to it, we get a healthy set of accessories with Daredevil, and I'm blown away by the amount that we actually get. All three head sculpts do look really good, and I think the gritted teeth is going to be my preferred look for Daredevil. And we also do get the 3 versions of the billy clubs, which I do like the fact that you can hold them individually, but I also love the fact that we get 2 different wireframes for 2 different billy clubs. The wireframe is going to be pretty sturdy, and you can actually get it posed in a lot of great ways. The only thing this Daredevil is actually missing is an unmasked head, but I'm honestly okay with not including it, as this is still a pretty solid figure. At the time I'm making this video, Daredevil is actually quite hard to come by, as he is very sought after, being a really high quality Mafex figure. I did get Daredevil from Hobbylink Japan for about $70, which is under MSRP here in the States. And word of mouth travels quickly, as Daredevil is quickly selling out on pre-sale, so if you didn't secure this figure, you are going to have to pay secondhand prices for Daredevil. Thank you for taking the time out of your day and watching another video here on the Dragon Den. But before you go, don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel, and check out the rest of my Mafex videos. If you're in a position to help out the Dragon Den, check out my Patreon, where I have some exclusive content and early access videos. Check out my Instagram account for new and exciting action figure photos, videos, recent pickups, latest prints, and as always, ring that bell so you never miss another video. And until next time, my loyal Dragonites, coming from the Dragon Den, I'm King of Dragons 5000, reminding you to redesign, rebuild, and reclaim. I'll see you next time.